My name is Miss Leslie. I'm a children's librarian with the San Antonio Public Library. This summer we have been imagining fairy tales, mythical creatures, and fantastic possibilities. And today we're going to talk about Greek mythology. Greek mythology is a collection of stories that the ancient Greek people told thousands of years ago. Now keep in mind, the time period when the ancient Greeks lived was very different from our lives now. They didn't have electricity, they didn't have cars, they didn't have phones, they didn't have the internet. So they used these stories to understand the world around them. There were stories filled with adventure, there were wars and battles. These stories taught lessons such as the importance of bravery and intelligence, right and wrong. These stories had heroes and villains and gods and goddesses and monsters and creatures. And so today we're going to talk about two creatures from Greek mythology. We're going to talk about Medusa and the Cyclops. First off, Medusa. She was a beautiful woman until things changed. Athena, who was a goddess, placed a curse on Medusa and changed her face from a beautiful face to a hideous one. So hideous that when anyone or anything looked at her, they turned to stone. Forever. It could be any person or an animal. It didn't matter. Anything that looked at Medusa turned to stone. Even a puppy dog would turn to stone if they looked at Medusa. The other part of the curse was that Medusa had snakes for hair. Snakes all over her head instead of hair. Think about that for a second. Would you like to have snakes all over your head? I don't think I would. Next, we're going to talk about the Cyclops. The Cyclops were giants. They were huge, they were super strong, and they only had one eye, right in the center of their forehead. There's a legend that says that they traded in one of their eyes in order to be able to see the future. And so that's why they only had one eye. Kind of backfired though, because the future that they saw was the day after they died. So I don't know if that was a good trade or not. There's a familiar story about a Cyclops named Polyphemus versus the hero Odysseus. Polyphemus eats a few of Odysseus's men, and of course that makes Odysseus mad. So Odysseus uses his wit or his intelligence to best Polyphemus and ends up blinding him in his one eye. Next, we're going to talk about some books about Greek mythology. I have 4 books here to share with you. And first off is Greek Myths by Eric Braun. This book will give you an introduction to the culture of ancient Greece as well as the Greek gods and goddesses. This next book is called The One-Eyed Giant and Other Monsters from the Greek Myths by Anne Rockwell. And in this book, there are a variety of stories of Greek mythological monsters, which is a lot of fun, including Medusa and the Cyclops. The next 2 books are The Way I See It, Cyclops Tells All by Nancy Lowen, and Medusa Tells All, Beauty Missing, Hair Hissing by Rebecca Davis. And these books take Medusa's story and the Cyclops story and twist them around. They tell the stories from Medusa's perspective and Cyclops' perspective, which is different than you'll normally see. So these are modern takes on these very old stories. And I think you'll like these. They not only have a lot of information and told in a different way, plus they're pretty funny. And keep in mind that the San Antonio Public Library has a lot of books about Greek mythology, not just these that I've showed you today. So feel free to put books on hold, check them out, and read all the stories about Greek mythology. Next, we're going to talk about some activities you can do at home based on our Cyclops and Medusa. We're going to start off talking about a Cyclops stick puppet, and I made this at home using materials I had at home. I took a paper plate, tissue paper, scrap paper, and a popsicle stick. So on the paper plate, I put some glue down, And then I took tissue paper. Tissue paper is what you use to wrap presents with, and I tore it up into little pieces, and then I put it on the glue on the paper plate. You could use any paper that you have though. It could be magazine, newspaper, it doesn't matter. And then I grabbed some scrap paper and I cut circles for the Cyclops eye, and I glued it down onto the paper plate. Then I took a popsicle stick and taped it to the back of the plate, but you don't have to use a popsicle stick. You could use a ruler or a plastic spoon or a fork, just something that you can use to hold on to your stick puppet. Next, we have an Origami Cyclops eye. So origami is the art of paper folding, and all you need for this is a piece of paper shaped like a square. I took a piece of printer paper and I cut 2 inches off of it to make a square. And we'll give you the directions to make your origami eye, and you'll want to follow the instructions step by step, and then once you complete folding, you can draw an eye right in the center of your origami eye, and voila, there you have it. It's your origami eye. Alright, so next we're going to talk about some Medusa activities you can do at home. So remember, Medusa turned everything that looked at her to stone. That was part of that curse. So everything that looked at her turned to stone. People, animals, insects, you name it. So we have a couple options here of activities you can do at home. You can make Play-Doh. I have common household ingredients here that you use to make Play-Doh. I have oil, salt, flour, water, and food coloring. And we'll give you the recipe for this. And then you could make creatures, animals, people that Medusa turned to stone. I have a turtle here that I made, or you could make your brother or your sister and pretend Medusa turned them to stone. Another activity you could do is you could go outside and find rocks. Smooth rocks would work well, but it doesn't matter. Any kind of rock you find, and then you could draw or paint on the rocks creatures, people, bugs that Medusa might have turned to stone. I have some Sharpies here that I used, and so you could grab a rock and draw whatever you would like on there and just pretend it's something that Medusa turned to stone. For more information, visit nysapl.org or call 210-207-2500.